the Comic PM.
What is up, besties? It is your girl Karmic, back to you again with another video, and this time we are looking into the rumors of our Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet? Shalawala Bing Bong? I can never get his last name right. Are they broken up? Have they been broken up? Are they leaning towards the side of broken up? What's going on? That being said, I want to remind y'all that this is about free will, and I am picking up on energies that they are currently in. So that is subject to change, but based on the direction that I see it ending or not ending, it depends on how this fight kind of works itself out. But you'll see. I dove into them, got a little bit of backstory on how, you know, their trauma manifests because, you know, we attract trauma bonds because we haven't really healed. We've got some parent shit to work on, etc. But as always, these are alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. No facts here. Floating hands with psychic intuitive opinions. That's it. Okay? I don't need the Kardashians mad at me. It is what it is. And frankly, book a reading with me so that I can help y'all stop making the same mistakes. But that being said, you guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are down below. If you want to book a private personal reading with me, just letting you guys know I'm about 7 to 10 days booked in advance. So if you want your reading sooner, then reach out to me sooner. Facebook, Instagram, or my email. Great ways to catch me. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. Thank you to everybody that likes, that comments down below on things that I don't know because I don't follow these people, besties. I got my own shit. I'm tired all the time, and I like rom-coms on my downtime and snacks. I'm a Taurus rising. I like to chill. But that being said, everything's subject to change, but I'm going to link older readings I've done on the Kardashians in my description box so that you guys can kind of see how this is most likely going to play out. But without further ado, alleged, entertainment, no facts. But let's take a look at the relationship dynamic of Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet. And let's get into if whether or not their relationship is about to end. Let's get into it, besties. All right, besties. So we are going to take a look and see if Timothee... Why does his name just remind me of, like, Shamalama Ding Dong? Like, I'm not trying to make fun of him, but it just reminds me of that, so I always butcher it. Timothee something, whatever the fuck, and Kylie. It has been rumored that they might have broken up already, and you know how the Jenners and the Kardashians are like the PR... They're experts. So just to give reference to what I've seen online, they think that they've broken up. There's rumors that Timothee basically thinks Kylie could never be a good actress and that he doesn't really want to be the one that holds her up into the spotlight. There's rumors that she wants him to be her co-star because then the sexual chemistry will be there. And it's like, girl, like, part of acting is making up chemistry where there isn't any, but, you know, whatever. And yeah, I think that's about it. She also hasn't been seen at the Dune movie, you know, press stuff. And apparently he's moving to New York and Montreal. And so, yeah, the people, the girlies are worried. Everybody's worried. They think they're going to break up. Now, I will link in the description the last time I read this couple because it felt very much like she's the mom, he's the son. So it wouldn't shock me if, you know, his mood towards her has changed. Because I'm already getting this vibe of, like, you're not fun. Like, I feel like he thrives in fun, though he does like to build. He's a Capricorn. That's not shocking. But I feel like he's not the type to take things too seriously. Yeah, because I'm hearing the song, baby, you're my everything, you're all I ever wanted, but he talks about how taking things too serious, you hate me. I think that their personality styles are just a little bit too different. She's very high-strung. Yeah, I'm hearing the song, I'm sprung, but I heard high-strung instead. And Timothee just wants to have fun. I do feel like there's a jealousy involved with a co-star as well, because I almost feel her being like, you're making me look stupid. and I'm hearing Florence Nightingale, and I'm pretty sure the chick's name is Florence, isn't it? The blonde that he's... I think it's in Dune. I'm sorry. I don't follow it like that. I do a 30-second Google to get zodiac signs, and then I move on with my life. I think her name's Florence or something, but I do believe there's some jealousy there. So, all alleged, no facts here. Let's see what is going on between Kylie and Timothee, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. No facts here. What is going on? What's the deets? Okay. Okay, so I can tell you right away that they both have this in common. They feel like the other one takes advantage of the other one. So, like, for instance, Timothee feeling like Kylie might write off his coattails by moving into acting. That's something that he might be pissed about. Whereas I see Kylie being like, you're ungrateful for who I am and what I have to offer you. But it just feels like the abuse of power card right in the middle feels like both of them. They both feel like the other one's taking advantage of them. It definitely feels like if they aren't split up, they are definitely in a rocky place because they're both in this headspace of like, I do the work, what do you contribute? Like, notice how on the Six of Pentacles, there's like a justice scale and it's upside down. So it's not equal and I'm being drawn to the breadcrumbs. So I feel like both of them feel this way about each other. I feel like I said this in the last reading, when I mention old readings, I will link them in the description so that you can go back if you'd like. But it's just giving me the vibe of like from Timothy's perspective, whatever I do is not good enough. I have to move a certain way to appease your ego, especially with that star card. It's like, I got to make sure you feel comfortable at all times. And I think it's like, yeah, I'm hearing the song much like suffocating. So I feel like he's kind of exhausting her because it's like, yeah, because I'm hearing the song, every little thing I do never seems enough for you. So it's like for instance, the Golden Globes thing, right? We did that reading. I'll try to remember to link that as well. Well, that's the reading. But it's just giving me the vibe of like appeasing your insecurities. And remember, we did readings on the Kardashians. We understand where it comes from. But it's just like Timothy's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. I feel like he's got a more youthful energy. It wouldn't shock me if he's like in his mid to late 20s because it's giving me the vibe of like, yeah, because I'm hearing the song Not Yet a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, which is giving me the vibe of like, haven't fully grown up yet, but realize that that's kind of like the end goal. And I think he just, if I'm going to be real with y'all, I think he sees Kylie as entitled, snobby, bossy. And it's kind of giving me this vibe of like, you're entitled, but like, what did you do to deserve it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Timothee has this really hard work ethic. And I think he sees Kylie as kind of like, one day I'm going to find out if I get this word wrong, but it kind of gives me the vibe of like Nepo baby. And maybe Timothee had the same experience. I don't know, but it's just giving me the vibe of like, because yeah, I'm hearing the song from Ariana where it's like, I got it, I want it. And he's kind of just got this vibe of like, whatever Kylie says goes, whatever she wants, she gets. You want to be an actor? That's going to happen. You want to be a singer? That's going to happen. You want to be a makeup influential person? That's going to happen. Like, I think he's kind of irritated because it's like, you don't understand what hard work really means. And I'm being drawn to this fool's gold. So it's like, you get everything handed to you, whereas I've had to work my ass off to get where I am. So I think that it's kind of reminding me of like getting an ick from somebody because it's just something you don't align to. Like, for instance, I feel like she really did have a conversation about we should do a movie together. And I feel like he got an ick because it's like, don't you understand how much effort I put into being who I am today? It feels like he feels that she is entitled, and it's a very big point of contention. But with that star card being the first one to come out, I definitely think they're either currently still trying to work through it, or they're trying to figure out the optics about how are we going to spin this where everybody wins. Because don't forget, you got a Kardashian Jenner clan going on here. So whatever they're going to tell you in the news is going to be the most palatable so that they can keep their image going. But that being said, I feel like Kylie's kind of just a lot, and Timothy's more like free-spirited and just young mind. Like, let's have fun. Like, I'm being drawn to Failure to Launch where like they do To Let Loose, they like do paintballing, and you can have women that, or anybody really, that is parentified that'll be like, oh, you're childish, oh, you're immature, but in reality you feel that way because you never had the opportunity to be childish yourself. And so that's kind of the vibe. Maybe Timothee had like healthier parents, probably didn't, tell him to release a sex tape. But it's giving me the vibe of like Kylie was learned how to be a parentified child very young. Timothee, whether it's a personality trait or it's a trauma response, I feel like he likes to have fun, to blow off steam. And it's just kind of giving me the vibe of like two very different personalities that are triggering each other. Probably because Kylie had to grow up fast and Timothee leans on being childish, not in a bad way, to kind of like blow off steam and to live life. Like, it wouldn't shock me if he has nights with the boys where they do weird shit. Like, I'm being drawn to this YouTube that I follow because it's a bunch of boys that like put themselves in the sand and just they're singing floating heads, and I think it's adorable. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe that Timothee has, where it's like, I just want to have fun, blow off steam, and Kylie is just very high strung. I need to achieve, I need to be successful at all costs. So again, if this relationship's broken up, then it's going to have to be like, how do the optics look? And with that Six of Pentacles in the reverse, this is something that's failing because what I'm giving is not what I'm getting. And it's coming from both sides. They both feel that way, but it just feels like a strain of two different, very types of different personalities. I would say that Timothy's more, I wouldn't even say he's emotionally avoidant. It's just kind of giving me like Taurus vibes. He is a Capricorn, but it's like slow and steady wins the race. Like, we don't have to rush straight into like marriage and everything. Like, let's just get to know each other. Whereas Kylie's like, gotta be perfect, gotta be the best sister, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're coming from different worlds, different backgrounds. You're not speaking the same language. You don't understand each other. Yeah, fuck. So, from an energetic perspective, I would say this relationship is over. But that being said, with the Magician card, they might either pretend it's not, or it's kind of giving me the vibe of like how we hear from celebrities where they have an interview when they've disappeared for a while and they're like, yeah, we've been actually separated for like 7 years, living in separate houses, but you haven't heard about it because it wouldn't have benefited them had you have heard about it. Because that 10 of Wands is like a burden not worth having. It's like, I'm throwing this away. Justice card, we can't meet in the middle. We don't understand each other. That's what I was getting from the beginning. And this whole time my throat is just blocking. So I feel like Timothee didn't feel like he was understood, so he kind of gave up trying to communicate. I feel like Kylie's really high strung, so everything, and again, no judgment here. I know you guys love to scream at me in the comments. I don't emotionally care about any of these people, and I move on the moment I stop recording. So Kylie just kind of gives me this high strung vibe, which again, we read into their family, so of course she is. Look at her mother. But I feel like she's just too much like, this looks bad, do it this way, do it this. It's like she ended up being the mom in the relationship instead of a like equal partner. And so I feel like he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like Kylie realized she was losing him anyway. And I think she's got some jealousy towards a coworker. I feel like she compares herself to everybody. Again, when I did the reading on the family itself, it makes sense that she acts this way. So I'm not judging. I'm just simply saying. But with that Magician card, it's like, how do we keep up with the theatrics? So I think we're going to continue to see, like, I wouldn't even be shocked if they don't answer it or they have like a very healthy Instagram like release that's like very amicable split. We're both busy, blah, blah, blah. Because I know they did say that he's moving. So they might play it off that way. But in reality, it's like, it's giving me like oil and water. We just don't get each other. We don't blend well. It's like, not to like drag people because I know I get a variety of people, but like say that you were born and raised in America and then someone that's visiting on holiday from Mexico comes into your store and they're like, por favor, I don't know, tienes un bolígrafo. And you're like, what are you saying? I don't speak Spanish. And then you get pissed. But the reality is just you have different forms of communication. It's not that that person's a threat. It's not that they're being disrespectful. All of your triggers might come up. But the reality is you just speak a different fucking language. It's not that deep. So, hey, like, let's talk about immigration reform. But anyway, that's just kind of the vibe. It's like Timothee would be better with someone who's more lighthearted, not really, emotionally invested in the stardom. Kylie would benefit from therapy. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I've seen what this family has done to it, So, or someone that could, brush it off and be like, babe, it's okay. Like, just calm down and make you laugh and stuff. But it's just, she's so high strung. And that's the family cult, kind of. But they're both in a headspace of like, this is not equal. This isn't fair. You don't treat me right. I don't treat you right. There's a lot of projecting. There's a lot of defensiveness, a lot of wounds being triggered because they don't want the same things out of life. Yeah, Lovers is in reverse. So either they already broke up or in the talks of breaking up, or they're keeping space because they realize they should break up. That wouldn't shock me either. Like, I don't want to lose you, but I also don't want to be with you. But that Lovers in reverse speaks for itself, y'all. Oh my God. The Lovers in reverse followed by the Two of Cups. Are they broken up? Yes. Yes, they are. How they're going to play it out in the media could go a few ways. I see options. I see them kind of like, it seems like it's coming more from Kylie's side than it does Timothee. I don't think he gives a fuck. I think he'd be the first to be like, yeah, we broke up because it didn't work next. Like, that's kind of the vibe of him. Whereas Kylie's like, got to think about how the media portrays it, which again, came from her mother. I'll try to remember to link that video too. Because we got a serious problem with the parents. But anyway. Yeah, I think Timothee was like, I can sit here and invest my time into this, but in reality, it's just not becoming fruitful. It's giving me the vibe of like, this is more of a headache than it is something that I feel like can grow. It's giving me the vibe of like, it's funny because their energy, it's more like she's the mom, he's the son. But from his perspective, it's like, I always have to deal with your triggers. I always have to deal with your word. It's kind of piggybacking on like how people feel about Taylor Swift, how she's bugging out because everybody's out to get her, which to an extent she's right. Same thing with Kylie. Kylie's been bred to be like this. Timothy's not. So again, it's like Meghan Markle and Harry. You know what I mean? Meghan's never going to get it. She's not a royal. So it's kind of that same vibe. Timothy doesn't get it because he doesn't think it's that deep. If he were to like get drunk, get arrested, and have a mugshot, he wouldn't be like, oh my God, it's the end of my career. He'd be like, bro, what a story. You know what I mean? They're wired differently. And I think that he realized that the more energy and time he put into this relationship, the more stuck he would be. Like Knight of Pentacles is slow, consistent growth. But as I'm looking at that, I'm seeing someone falling into quicksand and it's slow. And it's like, holy shit, how did I get this stuck? So I do feel like he's starting to realize like the price that, I'm hearing Find the Cost of Freedom from Saigon. So it's like, if I stay with you, it's going to make it that much harder to get out. Like, I almost see him looking at the other Kardashians and, like, how the exes are. Like, I'm being drawn to how Kanye's, like, once you're in, you never get out. And he's reminding me... Or he taught, my throat is given out throughout this whole reading. I don't feel like Timothee got to speak his truth. It's giving me the vibe of like the one that isn't a part of the family, even though you're in the family dinner, you know what I mean? But with Kanye being like, they control your mind, it's just like the movie Get Out. I feel like Timothee was like reflecting on the exes and being like, I don't want to be like that. I don't want the stress that comes with it. I don't need this level of fame where I have to be looking sideways. And frankly, I'm really not that into you. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, you're a headache. And he's not entirely wrong. Again, no emotional judgment, because when we look into why these people behave this way, it makes sense. But from his perspective, it's like, you're not really worth the trouble. Like, I'm hearing the song, I Knew You Were Trouble when you walked in. So it's like, at first it was like, ooh, shiny. So does he have any Aries placements? Venus and Aries, maybe. Mercury, Mars and Aries. But it's just giving me the vibe of like, and to all the Aries that get mad, I'm literally a Leo and I have fit every unevolved Leo sign back in my day. So if you're getting triggered, it's because you still fit it. So work on yourself. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. But it's just giving me this ooh, shiny vibe. So it was like, it burned hot and fast. He was like, ooh. Because that's kind of the appeal, right? People are getting into these Kardashians because it's like, ooh, they picked me and they're superstars for like kind of no reason. So I feel like he had the ooh shinies. And then it was like, you're telling me who I can and can't be friends with. You're telling me what I can and can't do. You're insecure about every other fucking girl. It's like the cons were outweighing the pros for Timothee. I almost feel like he's into his coworker. Yeah, with that world card, it's like, I'm ready to close out this chapter. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like Kim when she dated Pete, except it's more like Tim is Kim and Kylie's Pete. It's like, you're something to do, but I realize that this is probably going to grow nowhere. Like, not go nowhere, but grow nowhere, because I don't think I could deal with like I'm hearing the word like hypochondriac. I'm hearing just like a lot of negative words about somebody who's just high strung. You know what I mean? He didn't want to do that. He's more down to earth. Yeah, it's like the ego, the pride, the fame, the optics. It's not for me. Yeah, Page of Wands, social media, but it's in the reverse. It's like, I don't give a shit about that stuff. It's kind of reminding me of the celebrities we've read, where it's like the boys don't want that level of stardom. Like Joe Alwyn with Taylor, it was like, I want to be with you and grow something with you, but I don't give a fuck if we're on the front of Yahoo News. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Timothy's just more down to earth, and I think he was getting sick of, I just see like, and it feels more metaphorical, but I see Kylie like bitching and then like pulling her hair out, but not literally pulling it out, just tugging on it. And Timothy being like, no matter what I do, I cannot solve your problems, and realizing that it's not his job to fix her, which is kind of a healthy headspace to be in. Yeah, he's done. I think he regrets being with her, if I'm being honest. I almost wonder if maybe people warned him about her, because that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, especially with that Ace of Swords, because it's more like, with the Ace of Swords in the reverse, it's like, I'm cutting off contact, I'm done, this is ending, but it's also like giving me this double message of like messages I've heard in the past. So I wonder if people warned him, because remember how I was seeing like the sisters and comparing the exes and stuff like that? It's giving me the vibe like, is he friends with Kanye? Was Kanye like, don't get involved? Like, because it's just kind of giving me that type of vibe where it's like, this is not going to be worth it. Like, maybe I'll get a little bit of optics, a little celeb, because I mean, I didn't know this dude's name. I didn't know who he was. So I think he realized that it would do good for his career, but is very quickly like I'm noticing the dead people around the death card. It's like, you drove me dry is the vibe. I just feel like she's just so much of a hypochondriac. She's giving me the vibe of like, I need to be 3 months ahead. I need to be 3 steps ahead. I need to be ahead of people that are going to come for me. It's just, it's a trauma response. It's like fight or flight, but she's always on fight. That's the vibe. Yeah, he realized that it wasn't healthy. He wanted to be removed from it. Yeah, I think he blamed himself too. It was like, ooh, shiny, and then realizing that, did he pursue her? Because that's the feeling. Or at least maybe he thinks he did. Again, you can get gaslit by these people. I don't know. But it's kind of the vibe of like, I did this to myself. I think he's kind of hard on himself. Wouldn't shock me if he had a Virgo placement with this, like, it's my fault. Like, that's kind of the vibe. And then, oddly enough, I'm hearing the song, You Think You're Cooler Than Me. So I almost wonder if they had fights where Kylie was like, yeah, because it's giving me this vibe of like, you'll never get better than me, or this will fuck up your chance for celebrity, or you'll never make it this far in the industry again. I almost feel like Kylie threatened him. I feel like she's one of the youngest, right, of the sisters, because it's giving me the vibe of like, when I don't get what I want, I'm going to do damage because I don't know how else to act. So I feel like she acts out. Yeah, with that 4 of Cups, it's like you won't get the celeb fame you want. I feel like right now it's a matter of you, Timothy, need to move a specific way and act right, and then I won't fuck up your career. Let me handle the optics. Let me handle how we break up in public, if they even decide to do that. It feels like I'm seeing balls in her purse, so I feel like I said, they're going to drag this out. It would not shock me if this goes down as like people are speculating for months because you haven't seen them together, and you see like some side disses on Instagram, but nothing's been verified for a while. It's like Kylie's trying to, yeah, I'm seeing the thing with the sponge where it's like, I'm trying to wring it out for all it still has left. And then I'm going to put out a statement that fits the narrative that I want it to fit. And I wouldn't even be shocked if it's like, he's moving, we don't have time with our careers, and so we've decided to part ways, but we'll always be friends. Like, it's giving me the bullshit amicable stories. Yeah, I think that the stress of this relationship was too much for him. I think that her problems became everybody's problems. She's given me the type of person that's like, I word vomit whenever I'm going through something. I don't have that sense that's like, hey, maybe I shouldn't be telling everybody my fucking business. Like, that's kind of the vibe, especially with that inner child right there. It's like, she's got childhood trauma, so it's like, whoever listens to me, I will dump on, because like, I didn't have parents that listened to me. I was fighting for attention between me and all of my 57 sisters. You know what I mean? So it's like, when she's upset, whoever will listen, she will dump it on. And I just feel like Timothy was there for a good time, not a stressful, emotionally exhausting, manipulative, PR invested timing. And I think she also projected onto him a little bit, where it was like, I think she has this feeling, and I've seen this with other Kardashians, where it's like a man will save me, a man will help me see that I'm worthy of love because my parents didn't give me that. So I feel like she, like a lot of her other sisters, not so much Kim. Kim's just more like fuck it. But she's got this vibe of like someone else can save me. Yeah, I'm hearing Wonderwall save me. I think she thought that Tim would like help even her out because it's like he's so free spirited, she's so anal attentive. I got a Virgo stellium. I get her energy. I'm not judging. But it's like she thought they'd be able to meet in the middle. And in reality, it just propelled them further apart. But let's finish with the tarot and then we'll do some oracles and call it a day. Yeah, I think right now she's just focused on business, money. How do we move forward with the least amount of damage to my career? Always the career. I feel like he was the one that pulled the trigger, or at least he hinted to it. Because it's giving me the vibe of, yeah, because I'm hearing the song, What I Say Goes, I'm in control. So I feel like he hit like a last straw or something. It really feels like it has to do with this coworker and what he can and can't do because he's in a relationship. I feel like she's bossy because I'm hearing the song, I'm bossy. I don't know the words though, so I don't want to butcher it. But I feel like he was the one that was like, this isn't working. Like, if you want to play out the PR semantics so that you're happy, then fine. Because it just feels like he's kind of a little bit more of a peacekeeper. Wouldn't shock me if he had a couple Libra placements or Taurus, but it gives me more Libra, where it's just like, well, do it the way you want to do it. I'm not here to cause you pain. Like, I'm not here to hurt you, but I also don't want to be with you. So how do we move forward with this information? Like, it's actually kind of a healthy way for him to deal with it, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think and I think she would admit this too, but I don't think she's ready because she's more in her ego right now. But it's like, loving you hurts me. And I think it comes from both sides. Because it's like, again, remember back when I said like someone's visiting from Mexico and you're trying to have a conversation, but you cannot understand each other. You're speaking different languages. I feel like that's what they were up against the whole entire time. It's like a rich person dating a poor person. You guys just don't get each other. And so it was like, it's reminded me of like when you get closer to someone with wounds, you get hurt even more because they bite back. I feel like Tim would probably be the type that's like, oh, you're going through it. Let's go have fun. Let's blow off some steam. And she's like, no, I'm losing my shit. Why aren't you listening to me? Listen to me when I talk. Like, it's reminding me of the movie Trainwreck where she finally decides, and she's emotionally avoidant, so it kind of reminds me of Kylie. But she finally, it's Amy Schumer, she decides she wants to have the conversation and she just lets it all out. Just like hours of complaining to the point that the guy falls asleep. It's kind of giving me that. It's like when the dam gets hit, all of it comes out. And it's kind of like, Timothy's like, I wanted to help you, but I didn't want to be your therapist. Like, that's kind of the vibe. I think he doesn't want to be involved with the family either. I think he's like, yeah, this is kind of culty. I don't want to deal with this shit. I don't like how they treat you. I feel like he's just more down to earth and like, he doesn't blend in well with this type of lifestyle. You know what I mean? He doesn't care about the fame like that. This poor girl never wins. Oh, I feel bad for her. Yeah, it's all about the optics and the money right now. How much money can I make? Can I keep this going? Maybe if we don't actually answer the tabloids, then we can ride this out as long as possible. Like, I'm being drawn to the horse, but the success is in reverse. So it's like, eventually we're going to have to admit that we're not together. But until then, let's see how much. It's reminding me of when I do the conspiracy readings and it's like some people after they die, they're worth a shit ton of money because they're dead. It's kind of giving me that vibe of like, the relationship's dead. Let's milk it for everything else that we can get. And then we'll announce that it's over. Like, that's kind of the vibe. So it would not shock me if there's a delay. I mean, there already is because they're not admitting that it's over yet. But it is. I feel like they had a conversation that came from his end where it's like, let's just be honest with each other. We don't make sense. You know what I mean? You're too busy focused on your money. I need something that's a little more fun, creative, inspiring, and you're just not it. Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but that's kind of where he's coming from. And I also think that there's a lot of trauma with her exes, so it's like, I don't trust men. I don't know how to open up to men. I feel like she's been cheated on before, so if anyone even looks at her man sideways, she causes problems. So it's like, it's kind of that saying where it's like, if you predict the worst before it happens, you're going to manifest it because you believe it to be true. So example, if you're like, I always attract people that cheat, well, you're going to attract someone that cheats because you're putting that out into the universe. She has this headspace of like, men always have like a wandering eye. And so sure enough, he has someone that is a co-star that's beautiful. And I don't know if you've seen the photos, but she seems like she's into him. And it's just like her continuously manifesting her worst fears because she can't just let go and let God. You know what I mean? Like, just chill, vibe, and hope for the best. Back deck energy. Yeah, right now it's like, I think this means Virgo, right? Hermit's Virgo. But it's giving me the vibe of like strategizing, planning. Let's go inwards, figure out how to make this work to our benefit with the least amount of damage. I feel like they're both on the same page with that. Yeah, it's like, let's slow it down. We'll be seen together less. I think this is why she hasn't been going to the done things. It's like, because they're already done. Bad joke. Yeah, it's like, we've already let go, but we don't want people to let go because we have to plan, so let's slow things down. This is all optics. Are we shocked? Out of my comfort zone. Right now we're at a crossroads. I almost wonder if he's interested in his co-star. I feel like they're going to continue to play like they're dating for a little while longer until it's like, all right, now's the time. This is basically just a timing thing, when they're going to admit it or not. But I almost feel like he might be into the co-star. Did I get her? She's a earth sign. I feel like he might be into his co-star a little bit. But I think more than anything, it's just like, I am tired of dealing with your immense amount of emotions. Like, when I see Kylie, because I can read energy, I do this for my clients, I'm seeing a really overactive root chakra that's blocked. It's got a lot of shit in it. I'm seeing an overactive sacral chakra. I mean, she deals with everybody's emotions, including her own, and she doesn't know how to deal with them. Her solar chakra, it feels like it's a little underdeveloped because it's like, I find my self-worth through others, and then her throat chakra is like blocked. And then intuition is just another story. But there's a lot she needs to work on. She doesn't feel grounded. She doesn't trust people. She doesn't trust situations. And she was born into something like this. So it's really not shocking. But yeah, let's move on. All right. So we're going to finish this off with some love oracles and see if we can get any additional information in regards to their relationship. So again, thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a like. It really does support my page. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you here. And thank you for everybody that comments, that lets me know what I'm missing. And thank you to everybody that calls me bestie, because it warms my heart. And I love that we have a little inclusive place on the internet. But anyway, let's get into their relationship, or lack thereof. Yeah, I told you, he has an emotionally avoidant. She's got an anxiously attached. They attracted each other because their energies are out of sync. She's too high strung. He's too, like, I'm seeing a surfer in my mind's eye, like, word. Like, it's just like chill. He had stuff that she could benefit from and vice versa. But a lot of times we don't see relationships like that because we haven't been taught spirituality, which is a bummer. But that's kind of why some people come in. Like, for instance, Spirit's drawing me to a situationship that really rocked me. And I wasn't even with him for that long. And I didn't really understand. And in the end, it was like the things that I liked about him were things that I saw in myself. So moving forward, you know, when you're triggered by somebody, ask yourself, like, why am I being triggered? For instance, when it comes to, let's say, Kylie, right? Kylie's getting triggered because she doesn't know how to tap into her inner child because her parent never let her do that. It was always about success and productivity and don't feel your feelings. Whereas Tim kind of has more fun with his life. He's more, it's just giving me Libra vibes, just chill, maybe even Sag, where it's just like, I'm just living my life. I'm doing me. And so she drew him in because she needed to learn how to live more like that. Whereas Timothee probably brought her in, energetically speaking, because maybe he has too much fun but doesn't really get serious. Because remember how I saw something like he'd be the type to have a mugshot and be like, bro, look at this story. Like, I feel like he needs to grow up a little bit. She needs to grow down a little bit. So that's kind of how they brought each other in. That's just how energy works. That's how relationships will play out. So if you don't want a karmic relationship, do the work on yourself so you don't attract somebody that won't end poorly. You know what I mean? Girl talk. I do feel like she's leaned on her sisters. when it came to this. I feel like she has a couple of friends, but I'm not focusing too much on the friends. It's like she has moments where she wants to reach out, but then she's too proud. But then she has moments where she goes to her sisters, which are like the worst options, and asks, like, my throat is just giving out in this entire reading. This girl does not know how to speak her truth, especially with talking in the reverse. But it's giving me the vibe of like trying to get advice from my sisters, but it's more like not about my heart's broken. How do I talk through that? It's more the vibe of like, how do I move through the PR that's involved in this? Yeah, I just feel like there was no growth to be had in this relationship because, again, it's like oil and water. They're two very different people. The snake. The other woman. I do feel like Kylie might have been unintentionally sensing that there was chemistry between him and his coworker because it's drawing me to Ariana and Ethan and how they had chemistry and then they ended up together. Does that mean that Timothee's going to end up with his co-star? I don't know. I can't say for sure. But I can say that Kylie has a sniffer for people that are up to no good because I feel like she's been cheated on before. I can't remember. Her ex is like Travis Scott, right? Did he cheat? Because it's giving me the vibe that she's been cheated on before, like many times by many people. So I think she can sense when people are... Even something as simple as maybe he just thinks she's hot. Maybe he's just grateful to be working next to someone who's hot and I get paid to kiss you. Like, it could be that simple. But for her, it's like, I can tell you're into her, and so I'm going to cause destruction. It's like, it's going to give me the vibe of those women that's like, are we going to have a good time or a bad time? Because it's up to you how I show up. Like, that's kind of the vibe. So I think she was on to, it's just giving me like shark in the water. I can smell the blood. I know you're into her. So that could have been where this started. I think there was like an accumulation of shit. He didn't want what she wanted in life. That was a big one. But I think that also made him have kind of like a wandering eye, not to the point of cheating, but just being like, the grass is probably greener because it shouldn't feel like I'm dating my mother. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Yeah, I feel like, at least from Tim's perspective, it's like we've tried everything. We just don't make sense together. We've tried to do it your way. We've tried to do it my way. We've tried to meet in the middle. We don't make sense together. Why do we keep trying to make this work? It doesn't work. And again, I do feel like he's into his co-star. Healthy choices. I feel like he doesn't think that she's healthy for him. Like, I'm being drawn to, I don't remember which sister, but it was like one of the sisters in Scott something and how it was like tumultuous and it was all on TV. Because of the reality show. I feel like he was afraid that that was the direction that he could go in, where it's like, I'm going to be a reality show guy. Like, people are going to know my every single business. He's kind of given Joe Alwyn. It's like, I want to do my work, make my appearances, have people love me, but at the end of the day, I want a life of my own. Like, it's giving me the vibe of like Superman and Clark Kent. Like, some days I want to be Clark Kent and left the fuck alone, whereas Kylie's like, I want to be Superman 24/7. I want to be at Walmart and everybody know I'm Superman. You know what I mean? They're just... Their values are so different. Outdated thinking. They're not in the same place. Karmic relationship. Again, just like I said before, we would want soulmate in the upright if these two are good for each other. You got twin flame and karmic. They're meant to mirror and trigger the fuck out of each other because Kylie needs to let loose and he needs to probably get a little more serious. But with that outdated thinking, it's for both of them. We attract where we kind of lack, you know what I mean? So, like, for instance, to give you an example for your own personal life, the last year of my life, I have attracted like 5 Aries. And I was like, why do I keep attracting Aries? And then I thought about it. First of all, I'm a Taurus rising. Second of all, I love being home. I love being alone in my own energy. Once I learned how to enjoy loving myself, I didn't want to go out. So I'm going to attract a lot of Aries because I have a tendency to enjoy my own company above new experiences. You know what I mean? So I feel like with this relationship, they both needed to attract what the other person had, but had too much of. That's usually how a lot of these karmic relationships work. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're attracting, like, if you feel like you're attracting the same person in a different body, or you're like, why do I keep repeating the same patterns? Notice what it is that's being triggered within you, and notice what it is that they are inspiring. Going back to the situationship I had, he inspired me because he was very motivated to change the world. He was very motivated to help the underdog. And those were two things that mattered a lot to me, but I hadn't tried doing that myself yet. So that's kind of the vibe. You know, we're subconsciously attracting things that our parents have taught us, the negative parts, but then we're also attracting the things that we're inspired by. So I feel like Timothee was probably inspired by the level of fame that Kylie had, but never really thought about what came with it. And then Kylie, I think she just doesn't know how to be alone. But I think she also enjoyed how lighthearted he was and kind of the connections that he had as well. I am seeing like a web where it's like I'm attached to these people and this person and this one. It's kind of like what you can do for me. Not shocking when it comes to a Jenner or a Kardashian. Yeah, the chaser in reverse. We had dynamics of runner chaser. This is why most of my clients, I do relationship readings, because this is how we learn not to repeat the same cycles over and over again. This is how Kylie attracted someone like Travis Scott, and then she attracts Timothee, who really doesn't seem to be all that interested in her. It's because she is recreating her childhood over and over and over again. Receiving what you need in the reverse. He couldn't be what she needed because she needs herself, and vice versa. Love in the reverse. Yeah, this was not a loving relationship. It was just... And listen, there are different levels to these types of relationships. Like, you can have a karmic relationship that'll teach you a lot and that you're very grateful for. There are a lot of relationships that I've had that were short-lived, but I'm very grateful because I learned a lot. So it doesn't mean that they're evil and that you shouldn't have them. It's just... if you don't want to keep repeating like 1 month, 6 month relationships or staying in things too long that you don't want, you need to work on yourself so that the universe doesn't have to send you shit to tell you about yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you learn to love yourself unapologetically and think that you're worthy of everything, not in a, egotistical way, then you're going to attract people that want to pour into you and want to show you that you are worthy because you believe it, and so the universe is matching that. Kylie's going to keep attracting dudes that don't appreciate her because she doesn't appreciate herself. You are looking for the very thing that it is that you need. Support, validation, all of that stuff. So these two, yeah, just triggers. I think this might have taught Tim how to stand up for himself and realize what he wanted and didn't want. I feel like this was also supposed to teach Kylie how to realize when to put the sword down, is kind of the vibe Spirit's giving me. It's like... it's kind of giving me, because it's reminding me like Taylor Swift and how she fights all of her battles. It's like realizing when enough is enough and just letting it go and let the universe decide. So I feel like she was meant to learn how to stop taking life too seriously. I feel like Tim was meant to learn how to take life a little more seriously. I don't think either of them passed the vibe check. Yeah, see, Coffin is endings and it's in the reverse because it's like they don't want y'all to know yet. And I also think that she's probably still holding on a little bit because I can almost see her being like, well, maybe we could figure it out by doing it this way, or maybe we could fix it by doing it that way. It's like she doesn't really give up even when it's kind of like dead. So are they broken up? Yeah. Will they announce it? Probably not right away. Yeah, separation in the reverse. It's like... it's reminding me, I'll kind of end it with this, I guess. If you guys have heard of the Ace family and how they were going under some like financial problems, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're getting a divorce, but apparently that helps their finances and they're actually kind of still together. That's kind of the vibe. It's like, we're going to pretend-ish and give you the idea that we may or may not be together because we're still trying to figure shit out on the back end. Things that cause the least amount of damage to our finances, the least amount of damage to our PR, because they are just, especially the Jenners and the Kardashians, I can just see fucking Kris whispering, like, you need to make sure you move this way and not that way. So Kylie is kind of like being controlled like the rest of them. Yeah, there's the not enough wound. It's probably in both of them, but I feel it very strongly in Kylie. It's like trying to prove myself through other people, getting validation because I can't give it to myself. Hammer, I think she sabotages good things because it's like when I get close to people, I trauma dump. I put all of my shit onto other people. I don't know how to be an adult because I wasn't taught how to be an adult. I was only taught how to be like a flying monkey. I produce things, I make sales, but I don't know how to do the simple things like have emotional intelligence, have the ability to really connect on a hearty level because I had a mother that didn't care to teach me that. So, when people are broken, and we're all a little broken, but there's usually a reason that's deeper than what we understand. It's not just this person's bad, this person's good. It's this person's the accumulation of their experiences up to and including this moment. You know what I mean? It's ironic because with Hand of Cards, it says take a chance, risk, not showing hand, blah, blah, blah. And I could see that as being like they're moving slowly again because of PR. But what I'm seeing with Hand of Cards is actually a double meaning of like, this is the hand I was dealt, so I don't really know how to move past it. And I kind of feel like that's where both of them are coming from. So, yeah, I don't really feel like this needs to be dove into much more. I mean, yeah, this is pretty simple. I do believe that they are over. I just don't know how long they're going to pretend that they aren't over for optics' sakes. It's kind of in Tim's hands, to be honest. I feel like, you know, he's got the whole family going after him. Like, this is how things need to be so that things are played out the right way. And I feel like he doesn't really want conflict. So it's like, all right, we'll do it your way. But it wouldn't shock me if he's got a fire placement somewhere where it's like, but eventually, if y'all don't move on from this, I'm going to flip shit. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. If you want a part 2 for any reason, I'm not sure what it would be on. So let me know in the comments what you would want the part 2 on. Not just a part 2, because no idea, y'all. Let me know what I don't know in the comments that you guys may know. Find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You'll be the first to know about new videos. All the links are in my description box. If you want to book a personal reading with me, all the same links in my description box, as well as my email, just letting you guys know that I am booked out a week in advance. So the sooner you book with me, the sooner you will get your reading. I'm only one person. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you. Share this with your friends if you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm very grateful for all of you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay choosing healthy relationships that add to your life instead of taking away from them. And I'm rooting for you all, besties. I hope that you have a great whenever you're seeing this, and I will catch you guys in my next video. So again, thank you so much for watching.
The Comic, the